A neonatal unit at 3 a.m. Monitors beeping. Tiny chests rising and falling. And in the corner, a nurse scribbling in her diary, "I am evil. I did this." This is Lucy Letby. The woman Britain called Angel of Death. Convicted of murdering 7 babies. The most hated woman in England, until 2024, when forensic experts dropped a bombshell. We might have made a terrible mistake. The evidence seemed airtight at first. The insulin vials with her fingerprints. The air bubbles in 4 lines. Even her own handwritten confession. But now, top doctors are saying those baby deaths could have been tragic accidents. That the hospital failed these families twice, first by missing equipment failures. Then by scapegoating a nurse. So here's the question that keeps me up at night. Is Lucy Letby a monster who played the perfect victim? Or a victim we turned into a monster because we needed someone to blame? Before we dive deeper, smash that like button if you believe every case deserves a second look. Let's get 10K likes and put this back in the headlines where it belongs, because here's the truth no one wants to admit: if Lucy is innocent, that means the real killer is still out there. And if she's guilty, then our hospitals failed in ways that should terrify every parent. June 2015. Baby A takes his first breath, and his last, within 24 hours. His tiny body, born perfectly healthy, suddenly turns blue. Nurses scramble as blood sprays across the incubator. The cause? An air bubble deliberately injected into his foreline. Just hours later, his twin sister, baby B, collapses after a routine feeding. Her insulin levels are off the charts, 10 times higher than any medical error could explain. Both codes had one thing in common: Lucy Letby was their nurse. Over the next year, the Countess of Chester Hospital became a house of horrors. Unexplained collapses. Babies dying mid-feed. Mysterious rashes. Always during night shifts. Always when Lucy was on duty. The pattern was so glaring, even junior nurses started whispering. One testified later, "We'd see Lucy hovering over a bassinet, and suddenly that monitor would flatline. It happened too many times to be chance." The methods were terrifying in their simplicity: insulin sabotage, spiking 4 bags, air embolisms, injecting 10 to 20 milliliters of air, enough to stop a newborn's heart, overfeeding, forcing milk until lungs flooded. Most chilling, the timing. Lucy allegedly targeted twins and triplets, killing one, leaving the other severely disabled. As one grieving mother put it, "She didn't just take my son. She made sure his sister would suffer forever." Yet through it all, Lucy kept souvenirs. Photos of sympathy cards she sent. Facebook searches of bereaved parents at 3 a.m. And that diary entry no one can explain: "I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them." This wasn't just murder. It was a calculated game played against the most vulnerable, with a nurse's badge as the perfect disguise. The prosecution's case hinged on 2 words scribbled in a 5-pound W.H. Smith notebook: "I'm evil." Lucy's diary, seized from her home, read like a true crime script. Between grocery lists and work reminders were entries like "I killed them on purpose," and "God punished me with twins today." Her defense? These were just dark thoughts after traumatic shifts. But the jury didn't buy it. Then came the testimony that still haunts the courtroom. Nurse Amy Evans described finding Lucy standing over a screaming premature baby, not helping, just staring. She had this smile, Evans said, voice breaking. Like she'd won something. Other colleagues recalled Lucy insisting on taking photos of dead infants for memory books. The smoking gun. A text to a colleague after a baby's death: "I did it. I don't know why." Lucy claimed it was sarcasm. The prosecution called it a confession, but here's what the media didn't highlight: the diary's confessions were written in different inks over years. No direct forensic proof tied her to 4 of the 7 deaths. 3 doctors testified the insulin evidence was statistically weak. Yet after 10 months and 145 witnesses, the verdict came down: guilty. As the judge sentenced her to life, Lucy mouthed to her parents, "I didn't do this." Now, handwriting experts say those damning diary entries. They might have been added after her arrest. So was this justice, or a witch hunt fueled by a hospital desperate to cover its own mistakes? Just when Britain thought this case was closed, 2024 ripped it wide open. A team of neonatologists published a bombshell report. The insulin evidence, the so-called smoking gun, was flawed. Turns out, the test used couldn't distinguish between natural and synthetic insulin. And those impossible air bubbles. Premature babies' lungs sometimes produce identical patterns during collapse. Then came the handwriting analysis. That damning "I killed them" diary entry. Forensic experts now say the ink smudges suggest it was written weeks after the other pages. Possibly even after Lucy's arrest. One specialist testified, "This looks like someone scribbled it during a breakdown. Or someone else added it later." Most shocking. The hospital's own internal emails, leaked this January. Senior doctors discussing covering our tracks after a 2015 equipment failure that caused 2 infant deaths. The date? 2 days before Lucy was first accused. Now even the original prosecution's star witness, a nurse who swore she saw Lucy harming babies, admits, with what we know now. I'm not sure, so where does that leave us? With 7 grieving families who may have buried the wrong truth. With a nurse serving life based on evidence that's crumbling. And with one terrifying question: if Lucy didn't do this, who did? Because someone killed those babies. And they might still be working in a hospital near you. For the parents, there's no maybe. No room for doubt. When you've held your baby's cold body, when you've buried a coffin smaller than a shoebox, certainty is all you have left. She did this, one mother spat in court this March, slamming Lucy's diary against the witness stand. That which took my son's first steps, his first day of school, her voice broke. She doesn't get to play victim now, but then there's Lucy's parents, aging, hollow-eyed, who've mortgaged their home to fund her appeals. Their daughter, they insist, was the real victim, a dedicated nurse sacrificed to cover hospital failures. In prison letters, Lucy describes listening to mothers wail during visiting hours. Writing, "Their grief guts me. Because everyone thinks I caused it," the cruelest twist. Both sides might be right. The hospital was understaffed. Equipment did fail. And Lucy? Either a calculating killer. Or a traumatized scapegoat. Now, the same parents who once demanded justice protest outside prisons with "Free Lucy" signs. Because if she's innocent, that means their children's murderer is still free. And that's a tragedy no verdict can fix. So here's the question that matters now: would you have convicted Lucy Letby? Because this isn't just about one nurse, it's about every time we've rushed to judgment when the truth was messier. It's about hospitals that hide mistakes. About a justice system that needs heroes and villains in neat little boxes. Here's how you can keep this conversation alive: smash that like button. Let's get this to 100K likes so YouTube pushes it to lawmakers. Subscribe, we're investigating another controversial UK case this Thursday. Comment "guilty" or "innocent" below, then share your reasoning, but most importantly, share this video with someone who still thinks the system always gets it right. Tag that friend who says they wouldn't convict without proof. Because the terrifying truth is, they would. They did. And they might do it again. As for me, I'll leave you with this: the same hospital that accused Lucy had 3 more infant deaths last year, all unexplained. So whatever you believe about Lucy Letby, sleep well tonight knowing someone is still hurting babies. And they're probably wearing scrubs right now.